Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good time zone. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. I have some hot chocolate. I've just finished eating a mini apple pie, and I definitely didn't press the start streaming button instead of the start recording button. For a brief second, I caught myself immediately, so all good. But yes, it's another episode of Phoenix Wright. Before we get into it, at the end of the last episode, I announced a subathon that will be happening 2 days from when you guys are watching this. Well, if you're watching it on the day this comes out, it will be happening in 2 days. It starts on Monday the 24th of March, because that's the anniversary of when I came out as transgender. And this year is the 10th anniversary, which is why I'm doing something to celebrate. So, that should be a lot of fun. I would love if you could join me over on my Twitch channel, which is linked in the description of all my videos and stuff. Without further ado, let's jump in. We have a trial to get into this week. December 29th, 9:43 AM, District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 5. Good morning, Max. Max? Milk. What? If I don't have a glass of milk before I go on stage, I just can't function, sweetie. Stage? Don't worry, there won't be a stage. All you have to do is sit down. I guess. Nick. Max is really nervous. That's understandable. Hey, my sweeties. What? You don't think I should fly, do you? Huh? You know, you've got to make a good first impression. When I enter the room, maybe I should fly in and warm up the crowd a little? No. We can't be having you flying around the courtroom. It just wouldn't be right. Imagine if you hit someone. Don't worry, Max. Just do what Nick says and everything will be okay. Oh, sweetie. What is it this time, Max? Why don't you try flying into the courtroom? I can see it now, the dashing young lawyer flying fabulously in from above. One glimpse of that and everyone in the courtroom will be on your side. Max, really, no one needs to fly today. Nick, what's with that look in your eyes? I like the sound of that. Dashing young lawyer flying fabulously. Oh no, he's got you. December 29th, 10 AM, District Court, Courtroom Number 2. Let's do this.
And now the case of one... What?
Your Honour, get on with it.
Oh, sorry, I just realised that the defendant's name is Billy Bob Johns.
So?
Well, isn't the defendant also known as Maximilian Galactica?
Yes, Your Honour, he does often go by that name.
You know my grandchild is a huge fan of his. I think everyone here wouldn't mind if we call the defendant Maximilian Galactica. It sounds more friendly.
I wonder if that is to our advantage.
Ms. Von Karma, your opening statement, if you please.
I hope you didn't bother thinking you'd win this one, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Eh? That spirit channeling trial was a sham. I refuse to acknowledge its legitimacy. It did not count, do you hear me? She must still be upset about what happened last time. You have no chance. Zero, zilch, nada. I'm not losing this case. Why, you ask? Because it is not in the nature of a Von Karma to lose at anything. I guess being born with the name Von Karma is a free pass to be arrogant and annoying. Watch and learn, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'll show you the textbook procedure for proving how absolutely guilty you are. Me? Guilty? What are you talking about? It will be my ultimate revenge. But it's not like it'll bring her dad back. There, opening statement complete. Now, let's hurry and wrap up this waste of time.
Very well, you may call your first witness, Ms. Von Karma.
Detective Gim... Gim? Who's Gim? mouth clearly did not process the commands the brain gave it there. Detective Dick Gumshoe, get up there now. Sorry to keep you from work, as I'm sure you need every penny you can earn, Detective.
Don't mention it. It's no trouble at all. I've been looking forward to this.
Very well. I would like you to begin by shedding light on the events in question.
At your service, sir. All right, Detective. You may proceed with your testimony.
Details of the events. Let's go.
The night of the crime, snow was fallen until 9:40 p.m, making it extremely cold out. All of the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail. The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his neck. I see. He was beaten to death. Here's the autopsy report for the victim. The court accept this into evidence.
Autopsy report added to the court record. Time of death 10:15, caused blunt force trauma to the back of the head.
A blunt object. Very well. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honour. Right. As usual, we're going to start with pressing on everything.
The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m, making it extremely cold out.
Let me ask you about the snow.
It was nearly a blizzard up until the time of the crime.
Did it pile up?
It wasn't such a big deal. Maybe about 1.5 inches was on the ground. The snow froze in place and stayed on the ground until the next day.
The snow. Let me see. There's got to be more to this. What's the matter, Nick? I need to take a look at the court record.
Mr. Gumshoe, what were the members of the circus doing on the night of the crime? All of the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines.
I think it's going to be a case of using the fact that there's only one set of footprints in the snow. When you say all of the circus performers, who do you mean?
Everyone but the dancers and staff were there. Regina the animal tamer, Mo the clown, Ben the ventriloquist, and of course the defendant Maximilian Galactica and his victim the ringmaster. Oh, I almost forgot, Regent the tiger was there as well.
Out of curiosity, what about the circus monkey?
When I was investigating yesterday, he happened to snatch my wristwatch. Detective, you are welcome to file a police report after the proceedings. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m.
After the practice was over, where did everyone head off to?
Regina was playing with Regent while Mo went back to his room tired from work. Ben the ventriloquist went to the front gate absorbed in his own world. The ringmaster and Max went off to the ringmaster's room to talk privately. Talk privately, huh? That's awfully suspicious. You wouldn't happen to know what they were talking about, would you? It seems they were negotiating Max's salary.
Actually, Max was asking for Regina's hand in marriage.
The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m.
I'd like you to be a bit more specific about the events at 10:15 p.m.
Okay, not a problem, pal. We've got a witness that told us how the whole thing went down. Ow!
This is totally meaningless. Time to move on.
Alright, we'll just have to revisit that testimony later. Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling us how the victim met his end? The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail.
A wooden box?
That's right. The victim must have been carrying the wooden box when he was killed. Carrying the box. Carrying the box, huh? It was a rather strange wooden box, Your Honour. What do you mean? Well, it was much heavier than it looked, not to mention it was locked.
Locked, you say?
Wooden box added to the court record. The victim was hunched over this £20 box. It boasts a small but strong lock. This may be my only chance, so I might as well ask some questions. About the wooden box. This wooden box, you figure it weighs about £20, right?
Sounds about right. The whole thing is lined with iron.
Iron plating? Why do you think it's lined with iron?
I figure they just did it to make the box heavier. Ouch!
I think we could all do without your guesses, Detective. Stick to what little you actually know. He's so rude.
Sorry. Suffice it to say, the box is really heavy.
Much better. You may continue on, Detective.
The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his neck. Except we're going to press on this one and see if we can ask another question about the box.
Let's ask about the lock. You said the box was locked. How exactly was it locked?
Well, it had quite a sturdy lock on it. It took quite a bit to open that bad boy up.
So when you found the box, it was locked, correct?
Yes, it was. Some of the forensics team took it back to the precinct to crack it open.
I see. Continue, Detective Gumshoe.
I just want to be incredibly thorough with this. Excuse me, I'm burping. I've had some of my hot chocolate. Do you mind telling us what was inside that box?
Well, when we found the box, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox, so we took it back to the station and cracked it open. All that was inside was this little bottle.
Bottle? What is that, Detective?
Exactly what it looks like, Your Honour. It's a condiment bottle.
What's inside the bottle?
It's filled with pepper.
Pepper? Why in the world was it locked in that big box?
I can't do the judge's voice very well today. There was only one little bottle in that huge box. I wonder if that has some sort of special meaning. Small seasoning bottle added to the court record. Nice. That's going to be handy later, I'm sure. According to the autopsy report, the murder weapon was a blunt object, correct?
You've done your homework, pal.
And you haven't found this murder weapon, have you? The police are searching for it as we speak.
My theory is that it's something the perpetrator ran off with.
You would think so, especially since you didn't find it on the scene.
No. I bet he made it disappear with magic. Ho ho ho.
Well, I think we have a good feel for the details of the event now.
I guess that's all we're going to get out of Gumshoe in this case. You mean all we're going to get out of him is that little bottle of pepper? Now that we have wrapped up with the detective, I'd like to call my next witness.
Huh? I'm not even off the stand yet.
Obviously, but that's due to you being slow and unable to take a hint.
I don't know, but wrapped up has such a mean sound to it. I'm a sensitive guy.
Thank you very much, Detective Gumshoe. You may step down. Ms. Von Karma, call your next witness.
I would like to call Mr. Benjamin Woodman to the stand. He must be talking about Ben the ventriloquist. I wonder if Trilo will show up on the stand as well. God, I hope not. Oh god. Yanni's favourite character is here. Please state your name and occupation for the record. My full name is Triloquist. I'm employed as an operatic tenor.
Excuse me. The witness called to the stand was one Mr. Benjamin Woodman, ventriloquist.
That rogue must be cutting off your circulation. I said that I was a singer. Maybe you don't believe me. Fine, I'll grace you with a song. Ahem. Me. I'm not gonna sing. The world of the law, exciting and daring, guilt or innocence, decided by a judge dressed up like a woman. Well, what do you think? It had a good rhythm. It's just the lyrics, they leave something to be desired, so to speak. Trilo, you know better than to insult a judge. Shut up, just look at your nose. You would think you'd have the sense to fix it. If so, yeah, I want to punch you in the face, on the off chance the head swelling would help. You know that your nose is the reason you'll never be an A-list star. Celebrities must really enjoy saying everything that flashes into their minds.
What's going on here? Order, order. I demand to know who the witness is.
Don't worry about me, sir. I'll let Trilo handle this.
I'm not worried about you one bit. I'm worried about getting testimony in my court. Ouch!
You won't get anywhere trying to figure out this witness. Now let's proceed. Damn. What you witnessed. Once practice was over, I left the tent with the clown. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. That's when I saw Max heading towards the scene of the crime. He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer? Then the police showed up and took my magic boy away. Not my magic boy. You saw Maximilian Galactica heading towards the scene? You're sure of that? Without a doubt. He had on his silk hat, cloak, and the dumb white roses on his chest. How can you mistake someone with that crazy get-up and his nose stuck up so high?
That's enough. I think we all get the picture. Just one thing. You said you ditched the clown.
That's right, dress boy.
Well, since you weren't with him, couldn't that mean the clown committed the crime?
It's got a point. What a shame. It was a nice theory, but the clown can't be the culprit.
Why is that?
Here's absolute proof.
A silk hat?
This was found at the scene of the crime. It belongs to the defendant. Ah. Without question, he was wearing his signature hat during practice. If the clown was the murderer, there would be no reason for this hat to be at the scene.
Well done, Von Karma.
Your prosecutorial skills are unrivaled. Did I say that right? Yeah, I think I did.
Well done.
Thank you for stating the obvious. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what do you have to say? Okay. I guess she's the boss again today. What you witnessed. The clown. You're talking about Mo? Of course I'm talking about that old fart. He's so pathetic, I can't stand him. Just a little bit of exercise and his makeup is running all over the place. Once practice was over, he was 9/10 of the way to keeling over for good. Poor guy. We didn't have any choice, so Ben took him back to his room. When it comes to being a first place loser, that guy's ahead of the pack.
Then what happened?
Why the plaza's entrance? To do some thinking, of course. It was awfully cold out that night, especially with all the snow around. Wouldn't thinking in your nice warm lodging house have been a better idea? Mr. Phoenix Wright, I think you should leave the thinking to the witness. But I'm a good thunker, at least my teachers always said I was. That's when I saw Max. Are you sure it was really Max Galactica? Of course I'm sure. How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby three-piece get-up? Snobby three-piece get-up? Get the wax out of your ears. Lawyers nowadays, you like talking to a brick wall. Max's three-piece get-up. Geez, could you be any more dense? All together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses. Thank you. Nick, I think you should put a little bit more effort into preparing your questions. Yeah. You saw Max and only Max, right, Trilo? That's right, and that makes him the killer. There was only one person headed that way that night.
That makes quite a bit of sense and makes Max one suspicious character.
There's more to this story than meets the eye. Is there something amiss in this? Ben only saw Max? That's a bit strange, don't you think? What's strange? That you only saw Max? Doesn't it seem like you should have seen someone else as well?
What? Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Who else do you suppose the witness could have seen?
Probably Russell Berry.
That's the victim.
That's correct. If Trilo was at the entrance to the plaza, he should have seen the ringmaster as well.
Ha!
Obviously, the ringmaster arrived at the scene of the crime before the witness could have seen him. Anyone with sense could have figured that out. What are you talking about? The ringmaster and Max went together to the ringmaster's room. Is that, according to the defendant, a likely story? If Maximilian Galactica was supposed to be in the ringmaster's room, why was he, just as the witness stated, at the scene of the crime? Ah.
I see. It seems that at this stage I have no reason to doubt this witness's testimony. And there are clearly no conclusive contradictions.
He is right. Brilliant judgment, Your Honour. Now, let's move along with the testimony. Trullo wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive for incriminating Max, would he? Well, Max is part of that bitter love triangle with Regina, which is probably why Max conked him over the head. Nick, wasn't Ben the one who got knocked over the head? Yeah. I think so. I don't know anymore. Around what time did the police arrive at the scene? I suppose that would have been around... Hey, what time was it? Huh? I think it was around... I'd say a bit after 10:30 PM, I think. Practice ended at 10 PM, so you hung around the lodging house the entire time? I guess that sounds about right. Wasn't it awfully cold? I can't believe you just stand outside in that weather. Well, the truth is... Oh, you shut up, you big-nosed dope. What are you telling him? Why are you telling him anything extra? Why can't you believe that we just stand outside in that weather? Well, maybe you were waiting for someone? Well, what? Who said we were waiting for someone? Mr. Phoenix Wright, we can all do without your offhanded theories. But this witness, he's cracking under the pressure already. I'm onto something.
Mr. Wright. Who do you suppose the witness was waiting for out in the cold that night?
My guess would be Regina Berry. Well, if he was waiting outside in the cold, it was for one person. And one person only. He was waiting for the animal tamer, Regina. Where? You were waiting outside for Regina to come back to the lodging house. Am I mistaken?
Is this true?
Well, you can't really ask me that question. Who cares who I was waiting for that night? What's important is what I saw, don't you forget it.
Well. The puppet may be a bit stiff, but he's right.
Yeah. Alright. There's obviously a reason why this witness was there that night. He spent all that time waiting for Regina to arrive. Moreover, even if someone else would have walked right in front of him, I doubt he would have paid them a second thought.
Oh.
It was a weird voice that I did for Trilo.
That makes perfect sense.
What did you just say? The witness saw the defendant at the scene of the crime. However, he did not see the victim on the way to his eventual demise. If you accept that, then you must accept that there is a high likelihood that he could have missed someone else other than Max heading to the scene. Ow! There is absolutely no proof that the witness was waiting for the animal tamer. I guess you got me. Alright. I'll spill the beans for real this time. It's true. I was waiting for Regina.
Pain!
Don't volunteer things.
Mr. Quist, tell us the truth this time, and I mean the whole truth. Were you or were you not waiting for Regina at the entrance to the lodging house?
I was. I was waiting to propose to her.
You were what? Waiting to propose?
What's the matter? You think that humans have a monopoly on marriage?
But the matter of puppet marriage is not under review in this case.
You're the judge. I mean, look at your horrible outfit. Poor Pain. Thanks to your bundling, my perfect plan is not so perfect anymore. Now we have to waste time getting to the bottom of some silly proposal by a puppet. About the proposal. Don't be so surprised that I was going to propose to Regina. I even had something to give to her. I kept it in my pocket waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket.
You were going to propose, you, a puppet.
Don't be so obtuse. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't love.
I guess you're right. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I couldn't propose to her too.
Please, for the love of fuck, you are like, at least in your 60s maybe, do not propose to a 16-year-old girl. Exactly. His honour is looking a little less than honourable right now.
Okay, Mr. Wright, please continue with your cross-examination. Oh.
What was with that sigh at the end? I think he's as tired of Trilo as we all are. By proposal, you mean proposing marriage, correct? To Regina. Of course that's what I mean. What kind of stupid question is that? I wasn't going to propose that we become some sort of outlaw biker gang together. Maybe he should have done. Right, Ben? Yeah. Got it? That's the truth. I even had something to give to her. What was it exactly that you planned on giving her? You know exactly what I was going to give her, numbskull. The only thing I could find that could match Regina's beauty. Answer his question. What was it? You're gonna die when you hear this. It's an engagement ring. An engagement ring?
Engagement ring?
Well, those two nearly fell out of their chairs. Mr. Phoenix Wright's joke has gone too far. Time for this to end right here. Francisca's whip looks like it's about to lash out at almost anything. One hit from that thing will probably shut someone up for a long time. Pain equals battle, push on anyway. It may be something of a joke, but this is a historic moment. The first time that a puppet has ever proposed to a human being. Ow! I advise you to cut this argument short.
I'm going to have to agree with the defence here. Will the witness please revise their testimony? Specifically about the engagement ring. I'd like to stick to facts, not sociology.
You sure do enjoy sweating the details, especially for a man in a black bathrobe. I planned on giving an engagement ring to Regina. Okay, we probably don't need to press on that again. I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Whose pocket was the ring in? Mine, of course. What a stupid question. You've got to be kidding me. You think Ben could pull that off? I'm sorry. Really? You don't have to apologise for that. He's the one who should be apologising. Really? Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. So you went to the lodging house to give it to her? That's right. I tried to give it to her during practice so many times that I lost count, but that uppity snob kept getting in the way. Uppity snob? He couldn't possibly be talking about me, Maximilian Galactica. When I get a hold of him, I'm going to saw his woodblock in half, and not with magic. Well, they always say that love creates rivalries.
So, what about this present?
In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. So you're still thinking of trying to give it to Regina? Of course I am. I spent 3 months' salary on this thing. I'm not going to give up that easily. I wonder how much he receives for appearing in the circus. Probably way more than he deserves. How about it, Nick? I think it's about time to unwrap this toy's testimony. That's the spirit, Nick. Give him heck. The judge has that dazed and confused look again. Maybe he should get out more. Okay, what have we got in the court record? Aha. Planned on giving an engagement ring. Kept it in my pocket. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. And that's how we present this. Trilo, do you mind if I show you something? What is it? What are you talking about? Uh-oh. Looks like they're going to double team me now. Do you recognise this ring? Ah, that's mine. Give it back, thief. Thief! Didn't you just testify about this very object? I believe you said, in the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. Why then do I have it right here? Ah!
What is going on here?
That's... Ben, say something. Don't put me on the spot like that, Trilo. found this in Money's room.
Money's room? You mean room they put money, like a bank vault?
Ha, that filthy monkey is going to get what's coming to him.
Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you avoid slandering innocent fiats in my court.
Well, Your Honour, Money really is a monkey in every sense of the word.
Ah, I see. Well then.
Money likes to go after the shiniest things that he can find and gather them up.
Shiny things.
Trilo, when was this ring stolen from you? Well, I suppose it was that time, you know, that night, the night of the crime. What did you just say? Details. I need more details. Well, it was stolen right after Max showed up in the plaza. Right about when you saw the defendant walk past, correct? Well, I guess you might be able to say that. The ring might have, well, it could have been taken around that time. Ah, yow. Oh. Ben, what's with you? Or whatever. It has nothing to do with anything, especially not who committed the murder. It's not for you to decide what has to do with what. Now, Trilo, back to the topic at hand. I haven't admitted a thing, not I, Mr. Trilo Quist. What did you do when the ring was taken, Trilo? You know exactly what I did. I chased after that ring-snatching monkey money. But you weren't able to catch up with him, were you? It's all this slow, loafy fool called Ben's fault. While he was fumbling his way through the snow, that dumb monkey was able to get away.
That is indeed an incredible shame.
Well, this does indeed prove one very important point. Prove an important point? What point could that possibly be? Ben doesn't exercise enough. Ben's testimony has a flaw. There is a huge contradiction in this witness's testimony. Contradiction? The witness just testified to the following effect. Up until the police arrived, he didn't move from the entrance to the plaza. However, the witness just stated that he chased after Money the monkey. When the witness was off chasing Money, there was no one watching the plaza. What is the meaning of all this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Where are you going with this little theory of yours? I'm saying that there's no possible way that this witness saw the plaza the entire time. That's where I'm going with this little theory, which leads me to my next point. It is entirely possible that someone other than the defendant was at the scene.
Interesting, Mr. Wright.
Well then tell me this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Do you have any proof that something slipped past this vigilant ventriloquist? Well, he obviously didn't see the victim, the ringmaster, arrive on the scene. However, that doesn't change the fact that he saw the defendant arrive. The witness is lying. He's blinded by his rivalry with Max.
Well, the defence's argument does hold water. This witness does have a history of animosity towards the defendant.
What? How dare you? I wouldn't lie just to get that dork face in trouble. He's not even worth it. I saw him, no doubt about it. I saw that worthless liar.
Well, just for clarity's sake, let's flesh out exactly who you saw on that night.
Ha! I've told you so many times you'd think you'd know my story's not changing. You've already changed your story, stick boy, and I'm sure it'll change some more. Where there's one lie, there are usually many more behind it. Exactly, Maya. That's why we have to keep after him. Yeah. Witnessing Max. I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina. But that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene. There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those ridiculous 3 symbols. So that means that Money didn't show up until after you saw Max? That's right. Money ran up less than a minute after I saw Max. Then Money snatched the ring and you went chasing after him?
How long was it until you came back to where you were waiting?
Well, let's see. I'd say about, I suppose 5 minutes, I think. So the victim could have arrived on the scene in that 5-minute stretch.
Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Here we go. I'm just going to have some more hot chocolate. That's good. So you were only concerned with waiting for Regina that night? That means you probably wouldn't have noticed if someone else showed up. You should think about how many eyes I actually have. I've got 4, you know. 4 F-O-U-R, counting Ben, of course. With that many eyes, do you really think something would have slipped by me?
4 eyes is an awful lot of attention directed at one area, I suppose.
Yikes, the judge is even more dangerous to our case than Trilo. But that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. So you saw Max coming out of the big top that night? Of course that's where I saw him coming from. I was staring at the entrance to the tent the entire time. I guess that makes sense, especially since he was waiting for Regina. He showed up after I'd been waiting there for about 5 minutes. About what time would you say these events took place? You're one of the dumbest people on the planet if you can't figure it out yourself. You already know that practice finished promptly at 10 PM. And you already know that I went to the lodging house right after practice. You don't need to be a brain surgeon to know around what time it was when I saw him. Just add 10 more minutes, I'm sure you can do that. Now what time was it?
Indeed, what time was it?
What time was it? Let me think about that for a second. Yow, I'm no good at maths. It was 10:10 PM.
Ah, yes, that sounds about right.
It sounds about right because that's the time I saw Max on the scene. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. So you testified that you said good evening to Max that night. You must enjoy asking incredibly obvious questions. You say good morning in the morning and good afternoon during the day, right? And it's obvious that I'd say good night to someone at night. What, Ben? You've got something to add? Let me guess, that's not it, Trilo. You say good evening at night. I'm sorry, Trilo.
Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you keep your ventriloquist's act outside the courtroom.
Impossible. A performer lives and breathes his performances. You should know better. There's got to be something wrong with this bit of testimony. Ben's half of the comedy act. Isn't that a bit strange to you? What do you mean? Well, if you hate Max so much, why would you bother being nice to him? It strikes me as somewhat strange. Why would it strike you as strange? Exactly. How is it strange to be cordial to one of your co-workers? Well, if it was simply just being cordial to a co-worker, I would understand. Ow, that hurt. Maybe you should think of having some proof before your lips start flapping next time. Proof is everything in this world. You should have learned that back in grade school. There's no reason that Trilo would ever say something nice to Max. But how do I go about proving that with the evidence? Bluffing is everything in this world. But I'm sure you already learned that one. I guess I can give it a shot.
The witness will resume his testimony.
I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene. You are 100% absolutely sure of what you just said? I told you already, geez, I am 100% absolutely sure. There's no way that he could be any more confident than that, right? There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. Those 3 ridiculous symbols, huh? Out of curiosity, exactly how many times have you asked that question by now? If you're going to ask again, I'll answer with a chorus. Everyone together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses. Thank you very much. Maya, you didn't have to join in, did you? But it's fun shouting out with everyone else. There has to be a hole in his testimony somewhere. I agree, but do we have the proof to make something stick? All we can do is try, right, Nick? We've got to have something that will prove useful. Alright, time to go to work. So we've got the picture of the crime scene, that's not going to help us here. Got the top hat. Oh, the bottle could be it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna present the bottle. Hell yeah. Trilo, is it not true that you had a fight with Max on the day of the murder? A fight? A fight over Regina, to be exact. It wasn't that big of a deal. It was just an argument, a disagreement at most. A disagreement usually doesn't end with someone getting clonked over the head. Ah. That morning, Ben got clobbered over the head by Max, didn't he?
Oh, what? Is that an admission of assault and battery? Ouch!
Before we handle that, we should wrap up the defendant's murder charge first. The truth is that on the day of the crime, the defendant and witness had a huge fight. There is absolutely no way they would have suddenly become cordial that evening. Moreover, just consider the personality of the witness on stand. There's no way a puppet this good lewd would just up and say good evening to his rival.
Gwah!
You're saying this witness is lying? That he is trying to frame the defendant by claiming to have seen him at the crime scene? I didn't tell a single lie, honestly, I just...
That's enough from you, Mr. Quist. Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honour.
Let's clarify this testimony for the court. Could you explain your theory about who the witness actually saw that night?
Ooh, I'm going to save here because I'm not 100% sure. Let's have a look at the court record. I'm going to say he didn't see anyone. Of course, the witness did not see a soul that night.
I see.
Who do you think you are to just up and decide what it is I saw that night? A fool can only understand a foolish foolery uttered by the most foolish of fools. This witness didn't see anyone. You wouldn't happen to have proof to back up that statement, would you?
What?
Okay. Let's reload. He saw a different person. It is my belief that the witness did indeed see someone that night. It was just someone else. That's who he said good evening to. What kind of theory is that? The correct one. Furthermore, I don't believe the person the witness saw was Max at all. What? If he had truly met Max that night, there would have been no greeting at all. Which means there's only one proper answer. The person the witness saw that night was not Maximilian Galactica. That is why Trilo made the effort to greet whoever it was he saw that evening. Or good evening, as he put it. What in the world?
Would the defense kindly explain who it was that Trilo saw that evening, then?
My guess is Russell Berry. I'm gonna try this. Considering the ill temper of this witness, there's only one person he would greet.
It must be Regina. It must be Regina. It's Regina, right? She's so cute.
No, Your Honour, it's not Regina. If it was Regina, Trilo would have given her the engagement ring as a present.
Oh, yeah. I suppose you've got a point there.
It was Russell Berry, the victim himself, was it not? You're correct. It was indeed Russell Berry. The person you saw that evening was the victim, the ringmaster, Russell Berry. That's why you greeted him, Trilo, isn't that correct? Gulp. Answer the question, Mr. Quist. Why?
Order, order! How do you respond to this?
Wait a second. Well, at first I thought it was the old man. But, once I got a better look at him, it was obviously Maximilian Galactica.
I think it is high time that we clear the air about this question. Mr. Quist obviously witnessed a single person in the area of the plaza that evening. The problem is identifying exactly who that person was. Was it Maximilian Galactica? Or was it the ringmaster, one Mr. Russell Berry?
The prosecution argues that it was the defendant that the witness saw that night. The witness has clearly stated that he saw the defendant's 3 symbols. 3 symbols? Alright, this is getting old. Come on, man, you've got to remember them by now. Here we go again, everyone, all together now. Ow. Yes, we know. The silk hat, cloak, and white roses. A silk hat and a cloak. Anyone could wear them. They'd even look good on me. What was that? Well, the witness has endlessly repeated that he saw Max's 3 symbols. However, how do we really know it was Maximilian Galactica? It could have been someone else dressed up as him. Possibly even Russell Berry. What?
Ms. Von Karma, do you have clear evidence that the person the witness saw was the defendant?
Well,
If that's the case, then it is impossible for me to make a judgment at this point.
Yes, I think we finally won a point in this one. That is very unfortunate. Huh? You're just a little too excited for your own good, Mr. Phoenix, right? What do you mean by that? You merely established one thing from this witness. You established that this witness saw one person in the plaza that night. I applaud you on your effort, but...
But
who that person was can only be answered by the next witness. Huh? Your Honour, the prosecution will provide, beyond a shadow of a doubt, an answer to that question and evidence that clearly establishes one thing. There is no one other than Maximilian Galactica responsible for this crime.
very well. The court will take a 10-minute recess. During that time, I request the prosecution prepare their next witness. Court is now in recess.
To be continued. Which I think is a very good place to finish up for today. So I'm going to save the progress up to this point. There we go. Well, that's going to be it for today, and another reminder, if you would like to come to the subathon, that is starting on the 24th of March, on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/roseartemis. It will be starting at 12 PM GMT. I'm very excited. And I also announced today, or today when I'm recording it, yesterday when this comes out, that I'll be doing a bit of a nostalgia-thon to kick it off, where I go back through a bunch of old games that I used to play as a kid. So yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for always commenting and liking and stuff. I really appreciate it. It does help a lot. And I hope to see you all soon. Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.